What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Check it out on the way we talked about sharing the link as an encoded and share it that way. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Appreciate y'all showing up and tuning in. Welcome to this afternoon stream. We are rocking our featured streamer slash content creator. Today we are featuring Shotgun Shane, and it will be hosted by me, Post Malone. We're going to have some fun with it, checking out Shotgun Shane talking about his experience with gaming, his experience with the music industry, where he came into and where it comes from, where it stems from, the creativeness. We'll hit some of his youth. We'll cover a lot of topics today, just having a lot of fun getting after it and talking and learning about the content creator, streamer, music artist, father, husband, son, uncle, brother, Shotgun Shane. So I have my top two subscribers on our Patreon subscription uh, page. We have Cold Winter Fresh, Gaming Universe, Timmy, Savage Demon 454, Trash Panda, Uncle Unicorn Cannon, Big Daddy Smoke of the Derby, Group, Dark Lord Santa on Facebook Gaming, J Money, and Randy Newton. I appreciate y'all being top two subscribers on our Patreon subscription page. Welcome into this afternoon stream. We are going to be interviewing and hanging out with the one and only Shotgun Shane. Let's introduce him and bring him into the chat with us now. How we doing, Shotgun Shane? Let's go,
Yo,
baby.
yo, what's good? I finally figured out how to cross post it. I think it's up on the page as well now.
Woo woo, beautiful. Welcome in, y'all. I appreciate you guys showing up, showing some love. So, Shotgun Shane, let's start out with what are your three favorite parts about content creation? Like, what are the three things that stand out in your life that are your like favorite parts of content creation? What's the passion from? Where's that come from? Welcome in,
Well,
everybody.
what do you mean? Like, justify that question.
Just as a content creator, right? Like, what are your three favorite parts of creating content? Is it the concept phase? Is it the idea or
Well,
having an idea to create the content? Like, what is like your three favorite parts of content creation? Is it the making of the content? Is it learning about the content,
well,
or planning
favorite
the
part.
content?
My favorite part, like, is the end result. Like seeing how people react to what you have created.
I like
You
it.
know, but that's the most favorite part about it. Like the most stressful part about it is actually going to the drawing board and coming up with the ideas. You know, and it doesn't have to be stressful, but it is
Right.
at times. You know, but then the end result is definitely the most satisfying. I would say.
I like it. So I just wanted to start out with that curveball. So let's move into the next part. So what types of content do you create so that our fans can figure out who Shotgun Shane is, what it is that they can expect to find from Shotgun Shane, and the different types of content you create, and then we'll break it down to why you like those types of content or what types of content you are looking to create with moving forward. So let's start out with what different types of content do you create?
Well, here recently, I've been doing the whole gaming thing. Of course, a lot of people know me for doing. I started out on YouTube and Facebook doing these things called redneck remixes, where I would take the popular songs and I would pretty much redneckify. I guess if that's a word, I don't know if that's a word, but we'll make it a
I,
word.
I I'd reckon it is.
You reckon it is?
Yeah, I reckon
Uh,
so.
so yeah, I would take songs and I would take country elements and put them in the lyrics and redo those songs. Okay, that being said, what happened to my video?
That's me. Double click it.
Oh, there we go. It went off somehow. I don't know what happened,
Yeah,
but
I don't know what's going on. Double click it again. We're all right.
all right, there
We're
it is.
back. That was my fault.
Okay. Well, anyways, a lot of people know me from that doing the redneck remixes. So I took from that and then I started making original songs because a lot of people were bitching on there like all you do is remixes, blah blah blah. So then I started doing original content. That's where Square Body came about. It's one of my biggest songs out there. If people don't know who I am, just Google search or YouTube search anywhere on any platform. Search for Square Body by Shotgun Chain. Um, some of you might not like it. most of you
I love
wouldn't.
it. My kids like it too. They bump that. They're like, "Hey, I could dig this. I vibe with this. This is fun."
It's definitely one of my biggest songs, and I'll never be able to live it down.
Right?
But then I've been getting into the gaming thing, and it's as I've been doing this, the community has already like reached out to me and they've just welcomed me, and it reminds me of me doing all these shows at these mud parks that I perform at with music. It's like the gaming community is just like a bunch of rednecks, like a big ass family, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and that's what I've been getting from that. And so that's the type of content that I've been creating is playing video games. We're going to start doing podcasts, a whole lot more interviews, music videos. You can go check out those. Um, just got a plaque from YouTube. The 100K play button.
Hashtag humble flex. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. To be a verified Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, links all in the description above if you want to check out all of that information on how to hit it up, Shotgun Shane, with the music and the other types of content. Check those out. So you started with music, or where did Shane start? Where did the concept of Shotgun Shane start to then metamorphose over these changes that I've witnessed in the short time knowing you? So what started the vibe with musical creation?
Well, I've been doing music since I was a kid, right? And I didn't always go by Shotgun Shane. I actually went by Lil Frost since I was a kid up until like 2014, 2015. I did like hip hop and R&B. It really wasn't going anywhere, I guess, in a sense. I mean, I was still known in my hometown and surrounding counties. Um, but then I just, you know, me doing music, I kind of took that all as practice, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start something new, and it's gonna be different. And that's when the whole redneck remix thing came about. I think the first redneck remix I did was Black Beatles that blew up. I mean, that was the first one that really took off on the internet. Like, and I remember me being on my way to a show. I uploaded it like right before I left to, I think, to Indiana. It was like a 6-7 hour drive where we was going. By the time I got to my destination, people was like, "How's it feel to be an online celebrity? How's it feel to be famous?" And I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So, because at the time, like I couldn't even afford to pay for my phone bill. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's real shit. So I didn't even have a working phone to look and check like to see how my song did. But by the time that I got there, the song had like over 2 point something million, 2.6, 2.8.
Ooh, that's some fat numbers, boy.
Dude, within a 6 hour span. I was like, holy cow, this is possible, and then that kind of just opened up my eyes. Like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do, and maybe I need to stick with this new thing that I'm doing, instead of,
Which was creating your own content.
yes,
Your
instead of trying.
did you do it with a music video, or did you just do it with like a graphic and an audio?
Well, funny story. I got in trouble because I didn't know how the internet worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out how to like steal little clips from other videos, right? Like little truck, like different truck shows or whatever it was. So I would and get those files and take that video and delete the audio and put my remixes over it. Okay,
Ah,
and then I would upload it. Okay, that's how it originated. But then I started getting, started being able to monetize stuff, making my own money from this. So then I could take my own money, and it's true, kids out there. If you want to be content creators, you need to invest in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, you're never gonna, like. How can anybody else take you serious and invest in you? That want to take their hard-earned money and invest in you?
that's a great tip right there, for sure, for sure. Self-investment is everything in any industry, especially if you're being vulnerable to criticism as a musician, as an artist, as a graphics designer, video creator, streamer. Like, you're putting the most of yourself out there, and it's very important to invest in yourself with your time, your energy, and just confidence. You have to create that shit. I'm digging it. I love it.
It's very true. I got
So how long have you been you see, so you started with the redneck remixes, right? So when you started with the redneck remixes, what was before that? Was it just playing around doing parodies or, karaoke, or, did this start at a young age?
No.
Is this something you did out of, what started the music passion? Where did the passion for creating, even just doing remixing and stuff like that? Where's the beginning?
Well, the beginning goes way back to fourth and fifth grade when I first heard Eminem while I was riding the bus home from school.
I was on
I
the
was
reservation doing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, so it was like this girl I had a crush on, whatever that gave me a CD. Right, it was the explicit, Eminem cusses. We
Hmm.
all know that. But so I had a CD player that I had in my backpack. So on the way home from the bus ride, I think it was fourth grade, toward the end of the school year, um, I listened, and it kind of was like, oh my god, dude, this dude's ill. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
I want to grow up and be just like this, and it kind of like inspired me to want to do that,
right,
and so I would find myself going home. And you remember back in the day, we didn't have all this technology. What I grew up poor, so I didn't have this. I mean,
right.
maybe some other kids did, but not me.
Me
We had
either.
like I had that CD player that I could use, yeah. But I also at the same time I had a radio that had a tape player, cassette tapes. And what I would do would listen like on the weekends, listen to like Star 102.1, 103.9, and I would take that cassette tape and record what was being played on the radio over top whatever was on that cassette tape.
Right.
And then later I would play it and I'd be in there just rapping over top of it, just practicing and practicing.
Hell
I
yeah.
remember there. I remember there was times, man, when I first got my first computer, and I think it was an MXL 990 microphone. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. Like I didn't know nothing about mixing and mastering and all this crazy shit. I had like I think a program called Audacity, and pretty much it was just me rapping over top of other songs.
Huh.
That that's kind of really where I started and owned in on the learning how to
So
actually
taking raw music and then putting your own music over the top of an already created piece.
Yeah, it sounded horrible, but
No, but I totally get that, right? So until you learn how to either create your own digital music or something, you have to have some kind of beat, something to go with, and if you can do it on something that you didn't have your own influence on or your own spin on or your own flavor, it makes it even more interesting because now you don't have full control. You can't tune it. You can't play with it as much because you can't have control of the individual elements of the song. You have to build your song through the creative process to fit
one
that,
take too.
right? Yeah, and there's no backwards, there's no forwards. You can't chop it up because it don't flow. You got to take it with that music in one shot, one flow. And I can see how that would be easy to transfer into creating your own flows with your own beats and your own music. It makes it simple to understand once you've had to do something as complex as listening to that free music by itself, isolating it, right? And then you got to vibe with it. And you got to listen to that 10 times in an hour so that you can write your first verse, right? And then from there, the song
Well, no,
creation
no, no,
happens,
no.
right? How does that work? That's what I'm
Oh,
curious about.
I
So,
didn't even back then. I didn't know nothing about writing it out. So like, what I was always taught was like everybody. There was Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne never wrote down any of his verses, never wrote down any of his lyrics. He just went in the studio and went with it. So that was my mindset. Like I didn't know that I could go down here and write on a piece of paper and then scratch out something that didn't sound good or vice versa.
so you
I
just
would
free
just
flow it. You just let it
freestyle.
go. Ooh, that's
Yeah, it was
tougher.
yeah, and I need to get back into that nowadays because I think that's what kind of like helped me be better than nowadays we got iPhones and shit that we can just type in and it's just it's better if it's raw. I feel like
Right.
you know, and they took all that out of music a lot. If you
Yeah,
know
the
what I mean?
rawness, the boldness, the appreciation of the understanding of it, right? It's been removed, or And I'm gonna shameless plug Netflix for a second. Rhythm and Flow. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's got Chance the Rapper, Ti, and Cardi B. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Ew, Cardi B." It doesn't matter. She's a titan in the
She's very
industry.
talented.
She
She's
she,
talented.
she is where she's at, and haters are gonna hate, and haters are gonna measure your success, in my opinion. So, but check it out because the understanding of the game, where that creation comes from, that raw creation is fantastic. And that's why I've always loved talking to you from the first time you came into the stream, stumbling in, going, what's up? And we linked up and had some fun. And now we've been communicating and talking a lot more. I would love to talk about your first album. And you told me where that picture of the album came from. And that really, like, I felt like a deeper
That ain't my
connection
first.
was creation.
That
That's not
wasn't
your
my first.
that wasn't your first album. Was that your first independent album, or was that, how did
No,
that
they're
play
all
out?
independent.
Right, right,
They're
right.
all
But it wasn't a remix. It wasn't a Redneck remix. It was a
no.
you album solely. Is
Yes.
that how that was? So it was your first solo album with your featuring your own
Just to
music.
clarify. Yeah, just to clarify, like every album that I've done up until this year, I've it's always been me with no features.
I love it.
Nobody's featured on any of my other albums except for White Wolf, and I have a bunch of features on that project. If y'all want to go check it out, I got Big Smo, Hosier, Haystack, um, Carolina Boys, Forgiato Blow from Florida, Rocky Luciano, uh, uh, REC from the Block 105 radio station. He actually does a show. I forget. I think it's Friday and Monday, or it's either Friday or Monday or Thursday and Monday. He does it. It starts at like 9 or 10 p.m. at night, and he gives a lot of independent artists the opportunity to be heard on the radio.
Oh,
And
that's radical. I love
yeah,
that.
it's awesome. Shout out to REC, man. Also, I have one song on the White Wolf album that's just a clearly solo joint, and it's called "Wish I Could Be Better." But the album that you're talking about, I dropped it last year. It's called Salvage, and it's got the house that I grew up in
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
thing, and I put a UFO above my bedroom that I slept in.
yeah. I love it.
And just that album right there, just looking at that picture brings back so much memories, man.
Right. Yeah, where I come from, I grew up in a government housing on the reservation for several years. I've had lived in homeless shelters. I've lived in my car. I lived in, like, what was it, like 17 different houses in 9 different cities before the age of 13. Um,
Damn.
and I've lived in 2 houses since I've been over the age of 18 and had control of my own life and put myself in the position I'm in. And so it's really exciting to see where people come from in those beginnings and to have that rawness, to have that realness in it. It's just out there. I mean, other people may not understand it, but I look at that and I don't see the struggle. What I see is motivation. I see the drive. I see the compelled nature and desire to create more, to have more, and to have that flow, that concentration, that love for what you're doing, and so
Definitely.
um, where do we go from here? What, because your music, and so gaming must have been underlining the whole time because you're starting to get into the streaming idea because you see the potential there just as well as I do because that's what I do, and
Yeah.
as well as the podcasting, as well as sharing the information and getting information out there to people about what may be relevant to them. So what I'm curious about is with the gaming. So have you gamed always just kind of in the background to pass time? Because obviously you're not, I wouldn't say an elite gamer, but you're not a bad gamer. And so that gives you the confidence to move into the streaming world. So where does the gaming originate from? What started you down that path?
Well, the gaming goes way back in the Modern Warfare 2 days, bro. Like, Xbox 360. But I've been playing games my whole life, you know what I mean? And just off and on in between sports, I played basketball, football, everything growing up. But in my spare time, I would play video games. I was really good at it. Like, if we could go back to those days and have the software that we have now, bro,
Mm,
I would be just as big as Shroud or Ninja.
I'd be bigger.
Like,
I'd be bigger. I've
yeah,
got bigger
yeah.
dreams than that.
You know what I mean? You get
Yes.
it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? but like, after not playing for so many years, you kind of get rusty at it. And I'm getting back into it, like as I've been practicing with you all, like you're damn good, and it only makes me better when I go against someone like you. And it's showing. I
Right.
mean, I think like the custom lobbies the other night, last night was it? Yeah, it was
Savage
last night.
Savage Saturday custom lobbies on COD. It's a new thing we're starting to vibe with. We do all different kinds of games and it's a lot of fun. If you wish to check it out, come join us on a Saturday night. It's a good time. Is
But I
what
was,
Shane's talking about.
but you could see like where I've been playing against you. Like you can see how it's making me better, me play better, and me know where everything's at. Me know, like I'm
Yeah,
getting
you're
used to
you're
it.
learning the maps. You're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and your movements change. The way you think changes, and so that's what I love about gaming is the adaptability. Right? You always have a compare and contrast, especially as a streamer, because I have video evidence of what I did or did not do, whether it was successful or it fucking failed. Right?
Yeah.
I have full control of that. So when most people are getting stomped on and they're used to stomping, they get frustrated and angry. I've been gaming so long and I'm adapted enough that when I get stomped on, I giggle like a little girl because it's like finally I'm being tested. I'm having to think differently than I've ever thought before. And that's what's fun about watching your music creation as you're moving into the streaming and taking it from the gaming side to trying to move towards the streaming side. It's a ton of fun to watch because I can see that nature with the creativeness of the music and everything and where the gaming is drawn from that moving forward the passion, the new excitement, the things that you're talking about, the things you're interested in, it's really freaking cool to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely, and like you said, it definitely changes your whole thought process because like me going from thinking this one way, like one lane with music, right? Now it's changed and I got other aspects of it. So now I can do this gaming thing. And 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 if you got something negative to say, like whenever you see someone streaming and stuff, simple. Don't watch it. Don't even entertain it if you're just gonna have something negative to bash them about. Like they're a community of people as well, and especially in the times that we're in right now, like uh, sending up a huge prayer for everybody that's affected by the coronavirus that's happening right now, COVID
Hell yeah.
19. You know, stay home, play video games, stay away
Join
from
us on
stuff.
streams.
Yeah, yeah,
Engage.
come watch it. Engage and be a part of it, man. It's a community online, of
What's up,
course, and we're
CJ?
not. And I'm not trying to say sit at home and stay on your lazy fat ass, whatever. And I'm not trying to say nothing like that.
Right.
You can still get out and exercise, and I want you to do that. I want everybody out there to do that.
Be healthy, right? And that's a
Yeah,
part of the
but have
mental game.
fun.
Right.
But
And
have fun.
And that's what I like about the streaming and the gaming and playing with communities or having a community around us is the health, right? So not only do we get to vent or relax and have fun, but we get to do that with others. And that's a lot of fun. That's what the customs were last night. That's what this whole streaming experience has been for me. And that's what I'm excited to see what somebody at your level, your size, your ideas moving into this world can
Oh, I
do
have
with
so
it.
many. I have so many ideas. I mean, do you want me to speak on the ideas that I told you yesterday about, like, the backwoods thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with sharing, man. This is what this is about because
okay.
this is like your future, maybe mixed with my future. So people are interested. So we've covered some of our past stuff. So it's a very appropriate time. What do you look forward to? What is it moving forward? And we have some other questions that I'll mix in here. But so like with the passion moving into streaming, do you to start first question, do you feel like you're a gamer or a streamer or a content creator, and how do you expect to move the gaming into streaming with the content creation? So simply,
Oh,
are you a
yeah.
gamer, a streamer, a content creator at this
I'm
point?
I'm all of the above. I would kind of like justify that and clarify it with saying that I'm just a content creator in general of all aspects. And that being said, like that, what I want to move on from is I'm going to incorporate the music with the gaming. You know, there's a way to do it, and I'm trying to figure it all out. And it's right now we're just going through different phases with it. And then I also have the ideas with the events, like moving forward. Like I go to a lot of mud parks and I perform in front of a lot of people at these mud parks. They're out here raising hell on side by sides and 4 wheelers and stuff, you know. And as but like why not bring gaming to something like this outdoors and get companies like Brainwave? Is that correct?
Rainway,
Is that
Rainway, yeah.
Brainway?
Rain, R I
Oh,
A N
why did I think
W
it?
A
Why did I
Y.
think it? Why did I think it was Brain? I don't.
I don't know.
Anyways, shout out to that company because I seen the podcast that you and Dark Lord did with them, and like I like their whole idea behind everything.
Well, yeah, it's
But
remote game playing with a mobile device using your PC at home, and all you have to do is have like a 5 megabyte per hour connection so that you can stream those games to a cell phone or a mobile device anywhere.
well, see, that'd be cool, and it would fit like what I want to do outdoors. So like we could take this thing outdoors and do like 5v5, 6v6 outdoor competitions, like and build like a little arena type thing outdoors at these mud parks. Even have it like a 4 day event, like have just different things going on. We can even have big streamers like that we get for these events to come in. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? That are more well known or whatever. It doesn't matter, but it's all about the people coming and interacting with one another. You know what I mean?
right.
Sometimes I see kids out there on these side by sides and they're riding by themselves. You know, like why not everybody get together and have a good time and make friends?
Right.
You know, it's like it's not like they're not being social, but it's in a sense to help their social skills. You know
Right.
what I'm
Give
saying?
people an excuse to be
Instead
social.
of yeah, and like have this and host it where they can come together and see each other face to face instead of being behind these headsets and these screens. You know what I mean? And it's I think it'd be really good for the whole community.
Showcase more of the reality of the people behind the content creation. So to give people an opportunity to create or hang out with the creators and witness having panels or some motivational stuff or Q&As or biggest tips. There's all kinds of
Inspiration.
things.
Like you were saying, you would like to get on stage
I'd
and
love
and
to do
and
motivational
tell
speaking.
your story. You know what I mean? And like you was telling me this, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, a lot of these kids out here, some of them that they got foster parents. You know, they've been through the
Hmm.
same systematic things that you've been through. You know, and for them to see you up there doing what you're doing and loving what you're doing, dude, it could be very inspiring to these kids. And just that being said, what we would need, I think we talked about it. What all would we need? I forget what you was telling me.
We wouldn't need much. Basically, a portable stage, microphones, speakers, and then 10 Xbox, PlayStation 4 controllers, 10 tablets, iPads, whatever, and a connection into a system to host it. And so that way content creators or people gaming and host it if it was at a mud event park for a few days, there's all kinds of endless possibilities between hosting panels or having games or
Hey,
companies featured or booths.
another idea. Like during the events, we might give away a free Xbox Scarlet when they come out, or a free PS5, or you know what I mean. Like
Right.
endless things can go on,
Yep.
and then we can like raise money, like help people. Like got to
Doing
pops, man.
fundraising.
Yeah, like pops right now. He's going prostate cancer, and it's just stuff like that gets me and hits me in the heart when I hear about it, and it hurts me
Right.
because there's people out there that really are struggling, that really can't get the help that they need, and then they do turn to something. I mean, thank you to everybody that has or that does,
Right.
but it's like, and I understand the pandemic we're going through, but it doesn't mean that you can't help somebody,
Right.
and
That's
this
it.
stuff.
So is that part of your platform moving forward that you wish to do with it? Is it about reaching back and helping your community? Is it about or what types of help do you want to do, or do you want to, what is it that you wish to do moving forward on that light aspect, right?
Well, I definitely want to get into helping, definitely different communities, not even just mine. Like there's a lot of small communities out there that do not get help at all. And it's just a corrupt ass world, man. And I wanna change that if I can. I mean, I know I can. It's just getting to that point of doing it
Right.
and really doing it. Um, and we can. I think this is going to be something huge, and I think this is going to be something we look back 5 to 10 years in the future, and we're like, damn, we did it, and we helped this many people out while we did it. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, I'm on episode 4 of this style of podcast. We've been running it for a month. And so that's part of my platform moving forward is finding people like yourself, content creators to work with, because we have a lot of knowledge, right? We had to physically go out and seek the knowledge we needed to create what we're creating, right? There's not a school to take us to. I mean, there might have been,
Well,
but we couldn't
there is.
afford it, right? With our
Nope.
humble backgrounds, you worked all the way up until you could do this independently. I still work a full-time job, a father of 3 and a
Yeah,
husband. You've got 2 and a wife. Um,
I got
so
three.
you've got 3. Holy shit. There you go. So like we live very full lives, and that's a part of that self-investment we were talking about earlier. Invest in your craft, invest in your education, invest in learning what you're passionate about, what you want to create, where you want to show that love, where you want that success to happen, right? You can't try something once and go, oh, I failed. No, you tried something once and you didn't know how to do it, so you better try it again so you can
Well,
learn.
see, that's like I was telling you off air. Like I couldn't afford to go to any of these schools to learn all this shit. I've been burnt time and time again on money from songs that I've done throughout the course of this 5 year span. Shit, I could be very, very wealthy right now, but like I'm not hurting, and I do, and this is my job now to do music full time. But to get there, I had to do a lot of sacrifice. A lot of time with my family is gone that I can't get back. Uh, and that's due to going out on the road. That's also due to staying up super, super late studying, all trying to juggle when I was working at the machine shop still. Working 11 to 7, coming home, maybe sleeping an hour or two. Then the rest of that time when I get up, studying all I can on the internet about what's what. Like where do I get paid from? Where can I get paid from? What is this? What is that? What does this copyright mean? What does this lease mean? You got to learn a lot of this shit. And nobody's
And
gonna.
it's evolving, so you have to
Yeah,
continue to learn. You have to continue to invest that time in
yeah, they're
yourself.
changing.
Yeah,
They change up a little sentence or whatever, and it means something totally different
and
now.
5 hours a month of self-continuing education, and that's if you get fast at it.
God, dude, let me tell you, I'm learning. I'm still learning stuff every day, bro. Like
Yep.
I just learned about HFA and there's different companies out there, man. And that's another thing that I would like to get into, is like with the music side of things. I love music and I love the the whole ideal behind independent artists.
Right.
I'm an independent artist, never signed to majors. I've had ample opportunities to do so, but I haven't done so because I know that I can do it myself without them owning me, and
Right.
to that thing, I want to help out other independent artists, man. I've always had that be, like teach them the ropes, teach them everything like that I've learned self-taught myself, but I do want them to go out there and want it too, just as bad as I did,
Right. Well, that's
I don't
that's the
just want to
same
hand
with
it
me.
over.
That's the same with me and the streaming side. Why I love working with you and watching you grow and showing you and teaching you, right? Because it's about helping other people. I have all this knowledge. I gained it for free, but at an expense of time. There's no monetary value on time.
Can't get that back either.
No, it's the one thing in life. It's the only commodity in life that we really have, and it's the only thing we can never get back once we give it. So, like, if you give somebody a half hour of your time, that means something because they don't ever get that half hour back. Whether you think it's silly or not, that half hour of life means something, right?
It
And,
does.
and so the sharing of that information, the helping others achieve or believe in a dream is part of all of that you were just talking about. And it's really important that we as entertainers, as influencers, that we reach up and we help our others come up with us and teach where we can, especially if there's a question, right? Because not
Yeah.
everybody's going to be confident enough to ask the question. But if we've got 12 viewers right now, one person asked the question, I bet you three other people at
Had
minimum
the
were
same
thinking that
question.
same thing, right? and
Right.
and and that's what it's all about for
And,
me in that content creation at this point.
and not to get off topic of that, like people are self-aware. I guess like what's the word I'm looking for? Like scared to really get out there and let their voice be known or their opinion be known. Um,
Self-conscious.
very self-conscious, and like that's with me being who I am out in public, right? I'll see a bunch of fans at a local Walmart, like 10 people, right? Out of those 10 people, maybe two people come up and got a picture, but the other eight wanted one too, but they just were self conscious about the way that they might think that I might think about them for doing that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I wouldn't think any negative of you or anything else other than like, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I appreciate it. It's very appreciative.
Right.
Don't ever be scared or too self-conscious that if you really want to do something that it holds you back from doing that.
Right.
Never.
Don't let it stop you. Don't let it slow you down. And as a content creator, the biggest tip I think I could ever give anybody is if you do not create the content, it will never be fucking seen. And it's taken a
Correct.
long time for me to really grasp what that means. It may not vibe with me. I may not like the content 100% personally, but somebody might.
Somebody.
And it's important to put that content out there because you don't know if that somebody's a Bill Gates. You don't have a clue what the potential is if you do not try.
Facts. Big facts, man. Big facts. And it's like, and if you never try, man, you can't never know what could become of it, and that's with anything though. That's like say if you're an athlete and you really want to play basketball, if you don't go to tryouts to try out for the team, you ain't never going to make the team. If you don't practice before tryouts, then you might not be good enough to make the team. So it's like a lose lose right there.
Right.
So it's like put in the work, put in the effort, and it will come. It might not come when you want it to, but it will come if you keep staying consistent and keep putting it, being motivated, staying with it.
Right.
Doesn't matter what it is.
For sure. Okay. So, do you feel like your previous content creation experience has made you more or less confident or prepared to move into streaming and trying that new avenue?
Uh, well, bro, I've took the most hateful ass comments. I've been talked so much bad shit about. I've been put down. I've been made fun of, and like all within that, I still got millions and millions of streams. I I still had a shitload of fans, become more fans, and spread the music. So there really ain't nothing nobody can say to me negative that could stop me, and I guess that goes in the sense of it. It did like it took all that me going through everything over here with music and taking hit on chin after chin after chin, gut punch, damn haymakers,
Right.
and time and time after time again. So really, what could anybody say negative over here in the gaming that could affect me if I've already been through this?
Right. So
Nothing.
you felt like you got a good callus built up so that
Yeah, it made me confident, bro. I'm
you're
confident.
not worried about it. You're not afraid. You don't give a shit. It's just I'm gonna do this
No,
content, and either they're gonna like it or they
if you
ain't.
like it, yeah. And of course, there's always going to be slick ass people out there that troll on the internet, which I don't care, man.
Right. And more power
Hey,
to
you
you
know
if you're
what?
that bored.
Yeah, yeah. You're still taking time out of your day to watch me. You're still taking time out of your day to say something to me. So who's really the dumbass here?
Right.
You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure. So, what would be like what was the biggest change from like doing music and creating music videos to moving into the stream? Like, what was the biggest hurdle to get to where you're at right now, where you're starting to join the Level Up program, trying to get into the that
Oh, I
market
got
in
the
Facebook?
badge. I
Ah,
got
congratulations! Fuck yeah! Level Up program for Shotgun Shane, level 1 to being a streamer. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, the biggest hurdle, man, there really ain't no hurdle, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess it's learning patience, more patience, because with music, when I'm creating music and stuff, I'm not live. You know what I mean? I'm not on this screen in the corner doing something. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my own comfort zone. I don't have nobody really watching me. I can do it at my own pace. I don't have to worry about teammates over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's totally different. Like, so I guess it's learning patience. You know, I guess that's what I would say.
Learning patience. Yeah, live content's a lot different than creating a video and uploading it later after a massive production and edit. When you're live, it's raw. I mean, you can
You can do a
delete
bunch of
it,
take.
you can do other
Yeah,
things, but there's no taking it back. Once it's out there, bloop, it came out,
it's like
it's out.
yeah.
Boom, there you
When
are.
I when I do a music video, bro, like say if I screwed up on a certain scene, I can redo that son of a bitch 100 times if I wanted to until I got it right.
Right,
Okay, but if I'm streaming a game with you live, and me and you're in a duos or whatever, I can't just. I mean, I can like reset the game, but oh, internet went out. You know what I mean? But then what are people gonna think? They're gonna be like, "What the hell? You're
right.
lying." You know what I mean? Like it's totally two different aspects with that, man. It's one thing's live, and you got to stay consistent with it, and the other thing you can try and try and try and try and try until you get it right. You know?
Right. Yeah, just keep grinding and until something works. That has definitely been a big part of my success. I've in the streaming game, things that you may not have to deal with that I have is streaming to no viewers, nobody at all watching, not one person, and for days. Sometimes one person come in for a couple minutes, chat you
I've
up, and
done
then leave.
shows, man. I've done shows.
Right.
I've been to cities where maybe one or two people show up in the crowd, and I've still got to have that same energy when I'm on stage. So I guess that would be the same sense.
I guess yeah, from a different aspect from creator to content creator, it's very different, right? But it is this. It's similar but different. When you're in person, your energy you gotta bring. Like when you're on stream, you've got nobody watching. You're just kind of I'm just here today. But if you're live music, you don't get to be I'm just here today because
See,
that
so
you piss off those two people, you got a problem.
yeah, I gotta stay out there and be like, Alex, everybody, Chevys. I still got to put in that energy, boy, like
Right,
on the stage, regardless of how many people in it. Like, it's awesome doing the shows with like 8,000 to 10,000 people out there in front of the stage. But like to be honest with you, I look back on the shows that there was only 2 to 10 people out there, and that shows me that they were really like I really helped them with my music because they showed up, they were there in a place that nobody else knew who I was.
right.
And I look back on those experiences more than I do the 8,000 people in front of the stage. It humbles you.
Right. No,
It really
I love my fans. Some of my best fans were the guys that were there, that were my one viewer that decided to sit there with me for an hour and chat, and we eventually play together or whatever. I've had people buy Xboxes just to come play with us because they look like we were having fun, and it's really cool to see the new level that you're bringing into the streaming from your art to creating that level of a community is a lot of fun to watch to see how it changes and what it can metamorphose into.
dude, it's cool because like I'm seeing supporters like where we've been playing on the game, like they already knew who I was for my music, and they had already been streaming with like playing on the games with you, right?
Right,
And it's crazy because we're bringing those two worlds together now, like you was just stating, and I like that, and it's cool because everybody now has something to look forward to when we're all together
right,
playing in the same lobbies and stuff, and I like hearing everybody's excitement, like, and you can just tell that they're in good spirits and that they're happy,
right.
and that's what it's all about at the end of the day is having a good time being happy.
I've got one right now in my chat. He's been with me for a really long time. Since I probably had under 250 followers, I think. His name's Charles Elkins. I helped him create his page, The Coming of the Clown. Check him out. He plays metal, he guitars, sings,
Yeah,
and
you
makes
was
his
telling
own
me about
music.
him.
He's in
Shout
here
out.
right now. He loves your music, dude. He told
What
me
up,
about
dude?
you when we first talked about who you were. He's like, yeah, dude, my kids listen to his music, loves his shit. And I think he's just cool. I think that was really cool that you hung out with him and whatnot. And
Dude,
so
thank
huge
you,
shout
bro.
out that he's in here. And that's
What's
where
his
that
shit?
cross comes from. His gamer tag is the Metal Clown. His page is the Coming of the Clown.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add him when we get on the Xbox here in a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Um, yo, clown, tell your kids thanks for listening to the music, and you as well, man. And let's do it, bro. I want to do some. You do metal music?
He does metal. He does a lot of stuff. He plays like the street corner with his guitar case open. He creates his own music. He's been in bands. He does acoustic, electric.
How
He's
dope
got
would that be? How dope is?
yeah, that's what I'm
How dope?
saying.
Let's do a country rap metal type song. That's something different. Nobody's done that.
Yes, that's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
and we got
Love
it
it.
documented right here, baby.
Yes, sir. Go check out his Facebook page. He creates his own music. He's getting get better about doing some lives and creating music and stuff like that. But I think
Stick
that
with
would
it,
be a
clown.
lot of fun.
You know what? Hey, you know what you should do, bro? Like just by hearing your name, you should like go order off of Amazon one of those clown costumes, and then like kind of like spice it up, bro. Like make it like grungy, and then what?
He's got some cool things in the works. I got some behind the scenes on him. I can't give his shit up, but he's got some cool cloud ideas coming.
Dude, I was already just thinking. You know how my mind
Yeah.
works.
Oh yeah.
I hear one little thing, and I've got like 50 million details coming. Like I can already mold you into a superstar, son.
Here, let me play with this ball of clay real quick and get there. Perfect.
And that's another thing. Like I got so many things I want to do with my life, and I'm not. I'm still young. I'm in my 20s still. I'm not 30 yet.
I just hit it, but thanks,
Hey,
Dick.
what I'm saying though is I got plenty of time. Well, I don't know. I could die tomorrow, but as like they say in your prime when you're young, go for it. So I got a lot of things I want to do. Like as far as like an independent label with all the knowledge and all the network that I got to help artists out. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about helping them with the educational process,
Right.
but I also want to help them get out there in front of as many people as they can, and also at the same time put out really good quality, professional quality music at the same time. Um, so I want to start up an independent label, and I would be a good A&R for my own label because I see all kinds of people all the time. I wish I could help multiple people, and it's hard though. Like so many people message me, and I try to reply back to everybody, but there's just a sense like I was telling you, bro. I almost got 30,000 unread messages from just the year of 2016.
I just inducted 4 new mods to my page. The first mods I've ever had on my Facebook page. They're my top supporters and subscribers, and I love them. They're a huge part of my content creation. They help me a ton, and they're like holy shit. And my page, we're not huge over here. I'm not small. I got we're pushing right up there next to 6,700 followers. We're gaining traction, but they're like, wow, you have a lot of notifications,
Dude,
a
I
lot of
I
shit all the
remember,
time. I couldn't imagine where you're at with 10 times that following, or
dude,
it's more like 14 times, but yeah.
I remember before you had 1,000.
Yep.
Like that's crazy. You've already grew that's good. Um, with me, bro, the music when it went viral, that's pretty crazy. Like, cause you go from only having a few hundred people that listen or even would take the time out to listen to having 50,000 people listening. Um, it's it's overwhelming. Even if you had a team, even if I would have had a team of 10 people moderating or whatever, who's to say? I bet they still couldn't have kept up with it. Like it's cool, and I think of another aspect of other people on different levels. There's people who's got millions of followers that it's like, damn, How
Well,
the
I,
hell?
I think at some point, unfortunately, the amount of engagement that people actually get on the human level gets limited. And I, as a content creator, I hope that I never lose that connection that I have with my fam and my
I have,
following.
I have, I
But
have.
that's a scary idea to me because what happens if it gets big enough that it's not manageable anymore? And then what? How do you readapt? How do you relearn? Or
That's what I'm working on.
right? And that's why I love working with you because I get a glimpse into my future. Right? It's like I get a glimpse into 5 years in my future where I could be. And in 5 years from now, who knows what it looks like? It could be
You
completely
might,
different. But
dude, you might be bigger.
maybe,
Like,
but that's what I'm saying though. Like this is your time scale, 5 years to get to where you're at and what you're doing, right?
yeah,
So I get at least that 5 years of experience. Whether I'm bigger or smaller in 5 years is irrelevant. It's the fact that I get that 4 years more experience than I have to look ahead through, and it's fantastically interesting to see how that level is, and then to try and compensate because we still have families. Our families get older, they desire and want more of our time, need more of those things, and then we still have to take care of our job, right? Our passion, our love, what we're responsible for. And
yes.
so to make it all work is quite
Care if I smoke
fascinating. No, go
smoke a
for it.
square?
Go for it. I'm gonna hit one too.
You look like Post Malone, bro.
Post
That's
Malone.
hey,
Come
hey,
on,
y'all,
Posty.
hey, everybody watching this right now. I told him I was like, you know what you should do, bro? Title this like Post Malone interview shotgun chain
Everybody should tag Post Malone and
in
share
the
it again.
comments.
Tag him in the comments, tag him in the shares, hashtag him and add him. I would love to do this with Post Malone. If you're out there, Post Malone, come do a featured stream
Do it.
podcast.
Do it.
So, where did gaming start for you? So you're not a bad gamer. You're a pretty decent gamer. Where did gaming start? Like, what console? What made gaming interesting for you?
Oh well, really, what pulled me in? I mean, I played the Atari back in the day, man, because that's all I had. And then I went Super Nintendo, all that shit. But my like looking back on all of it, I played every console. But my favorite, and I wish I could figure out how to bring my old Sega Dreamcast to work on live. Um,
I can teach you.
Sega Dreamcast, Crazy Taxi, Sega
Yes,
Dreamcast.
Crazy Taxi, let's go. Holy shit, I love it. That is a throwback from way back on the console that next to nobody owned or ever played on.
Dude, I had
Lit.
one. I got it. It was actually handed down to me from my cousins. That they were wealthy, so they had everything that I didn't have shit, so it was awesome to me. It was like
Right.
a gold mine. But I think the only game that it had was Crazy Taxi. But like I loved that game so much, I enjoyed it. Even whenever my parents was going to get me another game, I was like, man, I don't even care because I want to play Crazy Taxi.
Right. I'm still having fun on Crazy Taxi. I don't need no other shit.
They need to
That's
bring, hey, they need
hilarious.
to bring something back like that, bro. But call it like Uber or something. Like Uber needs Uber and Lyft. Like if y'all are watching this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all should do something like Crazy Taxi as a game. You know what I mean? Like just think of it, bro. We
That's
had that much fun.
hilarious.
We had that much fun as a kid back in the day playing Crazy Taxi.
Do you
We'd
remember
be
the?
playing.
Did you ever play the Simpsons game where you
Yes,
drove
it was
around?
similar. Yeah, the car. Yeah, the car that pulls in like during their like intro, whatever that pink
Yeah, yeah,
car.
yeah, 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 yeah. But
But
they're
you can get in different
convertible.
ones. You
Yeah,
can get in different vehicles in
yeah.
certain different areas and
That's
shit. Yeah.
hilarious. I remember that game full on, dude. That's good. So moving through the years, what types of games have you played, and what is your favorite genre now?
Well, now since Warzone came out, I'm back to Call of Duty, and like it was like for years though, for years in the past, the last like 6 to 7 years, I would say like I'm a big basketball fan.
Right?
So NBA 2K. So that like I'm a big 2K. I'm really good at 2K. So like, I'm really good at that game. But now I'm putting that same energy in Call of Duty. So now I'm getting better at Call of Duty again, like I used to be, like Modern Warfare 2, like where I used to do wall bangs, quick scopes off of the wall to hit somebody in the headshot.
Right.
You know, like you know. But like over the course of the time, I never really got into Madden, but I was good at it. You know,
So a lot of sports game influence, and then moving into the
yeah,
first person shooter genre and the BR
yeah.
genre of the
Hey,
first person
hey,
shooter.
yeah, PUBG. You got me in PUBG, bro.
I
Like
love pub.
you got,
Pub's fun.
yeah. Yeah, I still suck at it, but you know, it is what it is. But
I like
I like
PUBG
it.
as a streamer because it gives a lot of downtime and a lot of opportunity to engage with community, and
I enjoy it.
you don't have to alter the game or slow the game down or pause it. It happens organic with the amount of time that you have during the game, and that's why I like it
Yeah, I
personally.
definitely enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it because it's it it's very like you know what I'm saying. Like it takes a lot of time,
Right.
but like during that time, a lot of shit might not be going on. Like you said, so you can like really talk to the people during the streams and stuff. Um, what's another one? I used to play NASCAR. Like I used to
Ah,
love NASCAR.
that's there's some really
And
good games for that too. For simulators, there's a lot of
Forza.
there's Forza. What was the other one? Gran Turismo. There's like Need for Speed. There's and
Oh,
that
dude,
whole
you remember the Need for
series.
Speed
Oh yeah,
back in the
lots of
day
them. There's Burnout. There's a lot of
on
really cool racing
PlayStation?
games and Sims too.
Dude, back on
Yep.
PlayStation back in the day.
Yep.
That was the shit, man. Fix up your car, sit around, fix up that car, man.
Yep.
I remember Too Fast and Furious, when I seen Paul Walker with his Nissan Skyline,
Yep.
and I had to get a Skyline on the game, or whatever. I just had to make the replica of it.
Right.
I remember all that shit, man.
Hell
Love
yeah.
it.
So so now we have this pandemic going on. You're not able to go out and create music videos like you were doing. How has
Yeah.
that affected your content creation? Have you had to, is that kind of what brought on the streaming, something else, another avenue to create and show your talents? And have you been using the time to create any more music, or what type of content creation have you been focusing on? There's like three
Well,
questions there.
yeah. Well, the music video aspect of it, yeah. I haven't really, because I think they limit us to have only 10 people, and normally when we're doing a video shoot, we have more than that around. You know what I'm saying? Just for different things.
Right.
So we can't do that. Um, and yes, I have turned to this because this is something I really enjoy doing. I'm having fun when I'm doing it. And it's creating content at the same time. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's for
Um, I,
fulfilling that creative need, right?
yeah, I really enjoy it. A lot of people, I've been seeing some people comment that a lot of people don't like this aspect of it rather than a music video.
Right.
But we'll get back into that once all this passes. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is just another thing that I've added to what I do. And you don't have to watch it, but you know what I'm saying? You have a choice.
Right.
Um, but just know that there will be a lot of music videos because I put out 3 albums in the last 7 months. You
That's
know what I'm saying?
insane. How many
Yeah,
songs per album you've got?
some of them have seven. Some of them have 10 to 11. So I
Wow,
would
that's
say,
a lot of songs, dude. So that's like almost 30 songs. We can conservatively say at least 25, right?
yeah.
That's
Talk of the Town. That album, it's already at 1 million streams.
whew,
Salvage is at a quarter of a million, and then
nice.
White Wolf right now is creeping up on 100K already. Um,
Nice. And that's for
so
the whole album. That's impressive.
yeah, yeah. My old album America's Hero, it cracked 1 million. I want to say last month it
Wow.
cracked 1 million. My baby, The Reload, dude, that album has got like 10 million.
Wow. That's
It
impressive.
is, and it's like, dude, I'm just very thankful for everybody that streams my music and actually goes and actually buys the album. And that's what's cool about the genre. I guess they call it country rap, hip hop, whatever they want to call it. But the community is awesome, and the community is very supportive, regardless of any beef or diss or whatever bullshit that might go on the internet. They still support everybody. You know,
I noticed that when I was watching some of your videos, there's some other country rap or hip hop artists that popped up while watching your feed, and it was very interesting to see some of the same people commenting, some of the same people
yeah,
engaging with that content, and it was all positive, pretty much everything I see. Some shit talking, but you're gonna get that when you get some
yeah,
fame, right? And
yeah.
so it was very interesting to see just as a consumer of the content, how
Well,
that
see, it's
community
like
engages within itself.
here's the thing about it, man, and this is what I've always told people to follow me or listen to my music or anything or look up to me or whatever. I wouldn't even if I'm beefing with Joe Blow over here. Like, I'm not telling you not to go listen to their music. I'm not telling you to not go watch their videos. I want you to be able to support both, regardless of anything that goes on the internet.
Right,
You know, it's like smoke and mirrors. Um, you have the choice at the end of the day, and I would never put that on anybody. I would never want anybody else to put that on another artist or content creator either.
right,
But sometimes people just disagree. Content creator against content creator, like they might disagree about something, and then it becomes something bigger than what it originally turned out was supposed to be. You know what I mean? And to me, I hate seeing other fans of somebody bash another content creator. You know, it's not meant for that. You know, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. If you don't like the music, don't listen to it.
right.
Move on and go about your day. Nobody cares about you saying it's trash. Like, because to somebody else, it's not.
Right, yeah, that's time, that's energy, that's passion, that's a financial investment. It's a sacrifice of time away from family, away from home, uncomfortable on the
Yeah.
road. Yeah, the mental struggle. And I would like to, since you brought up the mental part of it, I would like to talk and get into that. The mental battle with the streaming of live content and the mental battle of not being able to create the type of content you're used to, because there's a lot of anxiety, stress, disappointment, frustration, irritation, joy, love, excitement. There's so many emotions involved with all of it. So what is it like for you dealing and moving into a different industry while trying to incorporate what you've always done?
Well, I get very bad anxiety sometimes, but like I push through. You know what I'm saying? I'm very antsy, and like I said, some of these games they help your patience. You know what I mean? I'm a very impatient person. Like when I, especially like you see how my mind works. It's like a motor constantly running,
Yep.
and so with this switch over where I can't do something that I really want to do, it really irritates me, I guess, in a sense. And but I just keep going, man. I just do whatever. I have been like when I'm not streaming the gameplay, like I've been spending a lot of time with my family during this whole epidemic thing. But like other than that too, I've been working on music. So I'm working on another album. That keeps me sane, you know. Music has always been my first love.
Do
Um,
you create any of your own beats, or how do you go about getting beats for your music at this point, moving forward? Because
well,
it's more organic, or at least it's not what it used to be. So are you using or creating that music to put your voice against or to?
Well, I work with different producers. Like, and I encourage if you're a beat maker out there to send me beat packs or whatever to my email, shotgunshane91 at gmail.com. I work with different producers. Sometimes we come to an agreement. If they don't want just like money up front for the beat for the exclusive, then I'll do like a back end point deal with them. Like I'll give them a percentage of the record.
Right,
Um, and that can range from 4% of the song or 4% of the whole album, to just individually the way you want it, like just depending on who what beat maker made what beat, you know.
right,
And you know, I look at it like this too. I like to put money in their pocket too because they're taking time out to make that. But also at the end of the day, I look down the road, like, and this is the way they all need to look at it. Look down the road, look down the future. Like, say if that song blew up, hit 100 million streams, and you're getting 4% off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do the math
right,
on all the platforms that it makes generates income from. That's still some money.
right.
You know, And then you leave wiggle room in there for other sponsors to come in. Like, say, if a company like Chevrolet heard the song and you mentioned Chevy in the song, and Chevrolet wants to come in and be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to give you $250,000 to use this song in a commercial or anything that they want see fit to use it for."
Right.
Uh, well, out of that $250,000, you still get your 4 or 5%.
Yeah, 4% of $250,000 is like what, $30,000?
I don't know.
What 1% of $250,000 is 2,500? Or yeah, 2,500. So it's still 10 grand. Or no, it's like $25,000. That's a fair wage.
There you go. You know what I mean? And that leaves wiggle room for other companies too, because like you can sign over different percentages of these songs. You know what I'm saying? And that's the aspect I'm getting into it now. And I'm just now learning all this part of it.
Right.
Like these bigger major companies, Fortune 500 companies, they can come in and do what like they can change your life.
So I was curious. I remember you saying something about the White Wolf album is the only album you were featured on, or you featured people on, and everything else has been independent and solo. Why haven't you featured, or why haven't you been featured as much or as little? Previous or moving forward, do you wish to feature or be featured more?
Well, I did it just to prove to everybody that I could do it myself without having a cosign. That's really what it was about up
Independent
until
flex, right?
yeah, like I got tired of people saying, "Well, you got to do this, you got to have this person to do this." No, you don't. You can do it yourself if you. It's just your mind. It's your mind. You
Right.
can do whatever you want. You set your mind to do. You can do it. I promise you.
Are
I'm
you
living proof.
I'm confident enough to create my own content and I don't have to have somebody else to put their stamp on it for it to be successful. I dig it.
Right. Exactly. That's the whole process behind that thought. But recently, man, I was like, you know what? I like these artists' music that's on the White Wolf album. That's why I featured them. I like their music and I like what they represent and I like each of them individually. Like they're all different. You know what I mean? And so it all worked out. I was supposed to have a few more artists on there, but it just didn't work out.
Right.
It was a time frame thing. I had a time set to do it all, to release it all, and yeah, we
Not
got
everybody made deadlines.
yeah. But so it got. It sounds good though. I like it. I like the finished product, man, and it's seeming to do very well. So
So
I think
so
we charted in the top 100
hell yeah, love it.
with it.
That's badass. So moving forward, what type of features are you interested in? Are you fixated in the hip hop or country rap,
No, no, no,
or
no, 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 no.
what other types of music do you create? Because that's what I know you for, and that may be what a lot of people know you for. But with your
Well,
redneck remixes and stuff, like what would you consider your genre or genres to be?
Well, I do multiple genres, and I want to come out doing all kinds of different things. I don't want to be held down just to that hip hop country rap thing. You know what I mean? I want to show, like, because there's a song called "You and I" on my Talk of the Town album that's done really, really well. It's like at a 500,000 streams on each platform, um, and it's R&B. So like, I like R&B, hip hop, rap. I like this country in general about itself. I blend it. But I would like to work with like definitely Post Malone. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Posty. I
Yeah.
I got an
But like
affinity for Posty because everybody say I look like Posty, so I don't know
and
about that, but I do.
on the country side of things, I would like to work with Sam Hunt, Luke Combs, um, rock. I don't really know a lot of rockers, like rock groups nowadays.
Right.
Back in the day, I don't know, like Avenged Sevenfold, like
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that,
Right.
and so yeah, that would be dope. You know what I mean? One thing I would like to do like an old school type country song with Hank Williams Jr.
Ooh. You got one of
Yeah.
those voices too. If you let it roll and hit that country vibe, dude, it'll roll. Because I like your fast beat. I like the hip hop style. I've heard a little bit of your singing. I've heard some of your freestyle. and I just like watching people test their limits. Last week on episode 3, we did Luminate Gaming, aka Nevin. He is in the music game. It's what he does with a lot of his time. He puts on shows. He's a DJ. He makes his own music. He
Okay.
made his own rap in a 24-hour time period. He said I hate all of these mumble rappers and this type of rap that is today, and I bet you I could make a rap better than 90% of that bullshit in 24 hours. So from concept and argument with a friend of his, created this rap song, and he ended up taking some of his gameplay because he's a streamer too, and put his rap song over it to tell his story. He sped up the gameplay, slowed it down to vibe with the music he sung with his rap song. So
That's dope.
it was fantastic, right? And I've created similar videos with other people's music, but he did his own music and then created the video to put his music to to have his own vibe with that, you know? And it was really interesting to see people breaking out of their regular, people busting out of that norm, breaking open the box to raw creation. And I think that is the most interesting part for me witnessing as a consumer of this content, is that
Dude, that's pretty dope.
rawness.
That's pretty dope, man. I got to see that.
I send you links. I would love to introduce you to several people, and we can do that later. But what I'm talking about is you doing the different genres and getting into that different flavor. I would love to see you test yourself in something you've never done, maybe even an opera. Or something where you are a baritone, where you really have to push yourself out.
Figaro, Figaro.
Yeah, but to hit that tone and that note, even if it is a cover of an old song, to watch your range and to see people test their limitations, or to create something new and a new
Okay.
vibe, because it's a challenge. Get out of your genre, because he's similar to you. He does his own vibe. He creates his own music. He does great covers, and but to test yourself in 24 hours, to step out of your comfort zone to create something new and raw, I think would be amazing to watch. And I would love to see others challenge themselves in their content creation to try something new within 24 hours and bring it to fruition. I would love to put that out there to the world. And it doesn't matter the type of content creation you do. If it's putting on and doing a makeup video, try doing a costume video, or something completely different than you normally would, just to get out of that comfort zone, to try that newness, because that's the spice of life for me. That's the shit that makes me moist at the end of the day. Can you step out of your own box, right?
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna take that in consideration. I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna step out of the box.
And rather it takes 24 hours, 48 hours, or 30 days, it doesn't matter. The idea is to challenge yourself to do something that you may not have thought about. Because as a content creator, I noticed that some of my wildest ideas that I thought were just batshit crazy turned out to be some of my most successful works, because I made myself vulnerable and took the chance.
That's yeah. That's me too. Yeah, definitely.
That's it's exciting. I love I can't wait to see what you do, if you do something with that. But just with the featuring, the ideas, the possibilities, because all the people, all the people I know, the people that make beats, the people that make music, the people that can write guitar lyrics, or make a guitar, a bass, and a drum sound good together, because that's a talent. It's not easy to
It
make
is.
that rhythm, or to lay a digital beat only. How does a person pull from that? And then if you already have lyrics and you have somebody creating the music for those lyrics, it makes it a whole nother game, right? Especially if you create your own music, your own lyrics, and your own vibe. And so it gets a whole nother level, where you get into like
Uh,
guys like Sean Mendez and shit like that, where all their shit's
oh,
live mixed and fucked around while they're live. Like, how do you have the confidence to do that?
well, I got this new thing. I forget the damn name of it, but box that I can put on stage now when I start doing my shows again. And it has so many different presets that I can set to the song and the tone and the tune, like everything. And I'm gonna try it out whenever this pandemic gets over with and I can tour again.
Have
Uh,
you thought about potentially doing that in an event live in your home for people during the pandemic?
doing a live concert, yes, I've talked to several different people about that, setting it up. It's just in the process right now.
That's awesome. I was just curious. I know that your fans and my fans may be very interested in something like that.
Yeah, I would definitely do something like that, but like I want to do it in a place that looks, not just in my bedroom.
Right, right.
Uh,
Have you thought about doing any freestyling or singing your own lyrics while streaming?
huh? That's something different. Yeah, I might have to do something like that.
Well, my thought was, and I thought about this probably about 3 hours ago, just before we got talking about this, would be having people send samples or the sample music that you already have that you haven't put music to yet or words to, have it just played in the background that you can hear and maybe your stream can hear. And if the moment hits you, fucking lay a beat down on it while you're live. I think that would gain a very diverse perspective into Shotgun Shane because of that rawness of the creation.
Yeah, people can then hone in on the freestyling skills and all that, and the song. Because me, like when I hear beats, man, like I always wait until the hook comes in, like where I think the hook's gonna be.
Yeah, where that uprise hits plateau and then lyrics start and then it dips and then hits again. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I'm
then
huge
and
in
then I get
music. Love it.
that's the way I normally write music. Where I used to write music, I used to just do the hooks first and then fill in the blanks. I've challenged myself though, which I've started using this format more. Is I'll start left and then work my way right, like start
Yeah,
like
yeah,
as
yeah.
a whole composition, and it's very it's
Build it
hard.
at the same time.
It's hard. Yeah, it's harder to do it that way. You know what I mean? It was easier doing it when I did hook, blah blah blah, than just fill in the blank. Well, when you work left to right, you really got to think like, okay, when I say this, how can I tie it in later on in this? You know what I mean?
Well, it's like a
You're not.
comedian, right, or an entertainer. When I tell this story, by the end of my story, I need to tie the beginning to the end so that the middle's felt and understood, and then have a conclusion, right?
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm gonna have to cut this
We're good.
short. I gotta run and do a few things real quick before everything starts closing.
Yep.
Um, we ought to do a part two though. We'll
We
definitely do
we
a
can
part
do a
two.
follow up, and we can plan that out. This has been fantastic. I appreciate all the love and shares, likes, and comments from everybody on the stream. Uh, do you have any final thoughts or conclusions?
Dude, I think what you're doing right now, dude, is awesome. I like this whole podcast idea. I like the whole idea around it, and everything, man. I appreciate everything you've done as far as hooking me up with these people to get the Technisport chair. Shout out to Technisport, and everybody, man. Like everybody's just showed me what a good community it is, and let's just continue to do this.
Hell yeah, love it, fam. So we'll reconnect again, do it again. I appreciate y'all. Much love, fam. And until then, we shall see you guys next time. This was episode 4, featured content creator podcast, Post Malone, featuring the one and only Shotgun Shane. Much love, fam. Remember, no missed opportunities, and stay savage. Much love. Peace.